feel like snapping off of that.
Hey guys, it's me, Homeboy Maxwell, with another Marble Snap video. Being a total Giga Chad. I'm done!
Today we have Leech Sniper, as I've called it. So I got to collection level, let's see, what are we at? We're collection level 615, and the meta completely shifted for me. Like, the average deck I was running into is totally different than what I was playing against before. And so, I like to... One of the things I really love about Marble Snap is how, since you get cards in a different order from everybody else, and, you kind of are in different playing environments, like, you're forced to really brew, and you're supposed to change what decks you're playing. It really encourages deck building, which I think is awesome. And so this deck is what you would call, like, the meta counter deck. Like, I played against Silver Surfer, like, 8 games in a row, and then, like, Galactus, or, like, Death Wave, or something like that. Like, just, like, nonstop. I was playing these, like, meta decks. And I'm like, okay, how do I play in the meta decks? How do I beat the meta decks? I have a leader. I have a leader, and out of principle, I don't play the leader. Because I hate leader. It's a stupid card. But, aside the point. So, it is another Lockjaw deck, because Lockjaw has become my favorite card in Marble Snap. But, I think it's actually really good. This deck is the kind of deck where I had a really high win rate, but my cube equity wasn't amazing. So I am at, like, rank 146, and I was even, like, playing on my phone, I wasn't, like, grinding or anything. I was just at 146 with this deck. But I mean, it's really good. So you have the 1-drop package of Sunspot to soak mana, because there's a lot of turns where you just have awkward curves. Sometimes you don't draw Lockjaw, and then when you don't draw Lockjaw, the Sunspot just acts as like a big body, because you don't have any 3-drops. You have one 4-drop that you want to play on 4, so there's just not a lot of times where you'll use all your mana, where Sunspot's really good. And then you have Iceman and Korg as that 1-drop mana destruction, where, like, if they cycle through your deck with Lockjaw, you're not that upset about it. Versus the other 1-drops that don't really have, like, an impact, except, like, maybe Yondu, but I just don't think it's as memorable. Korg and Iceman really can disrupt your opponent's hands. And then you also have Scorpion for a similar reason. Scorpion is good disruption, where when you're hitting these pretty close breaking points with some of these Patriots decks, some of these Silver Surfer decks, the -1/-1, it can be really useful. Also, the Cerebro decks I don't really play against very often, but I imagine a good Scorpion can really mess up a Cerebro deck, which is another, like, top tier meta deck. Lockjaw, cornerstone of the deck. I don't think the deck functions without Lockjaw. I think you can make something similar with some of these cards, but Lockjaw makes it a lot stronger, because it lets you cheat out stuff really early, and it also lets you cheat out these big mana threats that help you, like, outclass your opponents. Jubilee, same reasoning. Jubilee is, I think, a pool 1 card or a pool 2 card. I don't know. You'll have it if you have any of these pool 3 cards. Really, really strong in this deck. And then, so that's kind of this core package that you have. Like, the top row, conveniently enough, is, like, cards I wouldn't replace pretty much ever, except, like, maybe Scorpion. But then you get into the bottom tier where it's a little bit more subjective. So Enchantress is really useful against the Zabu decks once you get to higher ladder positions. It's really useful against Patriot. It's really good against Cerebro. These types of decks that rely on this one card. You can't play Cosmo in this deck because you have too many auto reveal effects. I think it'd be really bad. But Enchantress is some nice middle ground disruption. Hobgoblin, similar reason. So Hobgoblin is really good against the Galactus, and I've played against a lot of Galactus lately. I wish I had Green Goblin. If I had Green Goblin, I would get rid of Hobgoblin and I would put in Green Goblin. But it's still very good at doing what it wants to do. If you have priority, it can completely shut off a Galactus. Even if you don't have priority, it's really good into a wave sometimes. And the fact that you can get it off of Lockjaw and, like, completely shut out a lane for your opponent and, like, neuter their slot is really useful. Leech is the most important, meta breaking card we have here, where Leech lets you completely invalidate some strategies here. I play Leech and people insta-scoop in some of these videos almost instantly, and it's hilarious. Dr. Doom, I don't think is a 6-drop you need in this deck. I think there's a lot of options for what you could replace it with. Some of those include Chavez. I think Chavez is a fine choice because you can have a 6-drop you can play. But I found with these decks, you don't really need Chavez in the same way you do in other, like, low-to-the-ground decks, because a lot of the time you'll have a 6-drop in your hand that you didn't get off of Lockjaw, but it's still a fine choice. I think Magneto is fine if you have it, but I'm trying to keep this deck pretty budget-friendly with not too many pool 3 cards. But I do think Magneto is a strong choice. Odin is a fine choice because you have a bunch of honor reveal effects. You have Iceman, Korg, Scorpion, Jubilee, Enchantress. You don't want to do Hobgoblin, but if your opponent Hobgoblins you or Green Goblins you can put it to their side of the board, which is really useful. You have Doctor Doom also. You could technically on reveal effect Leech again, but if you're playing Odin turn 6, it doesn't matter. You know, you have a lot of good on reveal effects. I feel like these are just some of the options you have. You can play Leader, but I think Leader is a really boring card. Really not fun, where I just personally like don't really want to include him in anything, even though I recognize his power. I just think Leader's kind of lame. Hulk is just a great card for stats, great card to flip into. You can just play him on 6, very useful. The Infinaut is the most power I have. I don't know a single card with more power than Infinaut. Very good for that reason. I would totally continue to play Infinaut in this deck. It's great with Sunspot. It's great to cheat out with Lockjaw. There's a bunch of reasons to play Infinaut. Very good. And that's kind of the core archetype. The final thing I do in the deck picks is I always talk about how to snap. And if I'm being honest, this is one of the few times where I'm actually not sure how to really snap with this deck. I found when I snap, my opponents almost instantly retreat. And I don't know what that means. I will say this, and this is going to come out. I am going to make a snap guide video because a lot of people were commenting saying they want it in my last video. And also, by the way, I hit 100 subs, and probably by the time the snap guide comes out, I'm going to be over 200. So first of all, thank you so much. That's insane. But that is something I'm working on. I just don't. I was going to do it for like 100 sub special, but now I'm like at 180 at the time I'm recording this, which is crazy. Really cool. Again, thank you so much. But so that will be coming out soon. But the snapping is not very self-explanatory with this deck. Where like sometimes just like when I played the Daredevil deck, I would pretty much snap when I drew Daredevil, and I would play it like I drew Daredevil. I would just snap, play Daredevil, and then play out my big turn 5, and that was like just like a really self-explanatory snap. With this deck, I think just Lockjaw isn't always enough, where like if you just have Lockjaw and you snap the turn before you play Lockjaw, I don't know if it's always correct, but I will say if you've leeched your opponent, do not snap. If you leech your opponent and you snap, you're gonna make them retreat. Leech them, don't snap, and have them potentially play out the 6th turn of the game, and you'll get +1 cube. If you Hobgoblin them and they're like a Galactus deck, that's the thing. This deck has so many hate pieces for these like combo decks, these top meta decks, where they already know to retreat kind of, where if you have a really good idea of what you're going against, and they have their powerful turn, like they brood, and they're setting up to go Cerebro Mystique, or Silver Surfer something, or Patriot Mystique, you know, something like that. Like, you know they're going to do it soon. Snap when they have their power play, and then if you know you can answer it properly, then you'll get your cubes. But this deck is not very self-explanatory to snap with, where your cube equity isn't amazing until you kind of figure it out, and I'm kind of figuring it out myself still. But it has a really high win rate, where I probably had like close to a 70% win rate when I was playing this deck, but I wasn't really profiting with cubes beyond like 146, 147, which is still really good. Like, I'm sure a lot of people would be happy to be at 146, 147. But that's kind of the soft cap I'm at right now, as I'm better learning out how to get cubes with this deck. But this has kind of gone on for a while now. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. There will be more coming out soon. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. No cards revealed this turn makes this complicated too. I don't really need to play Iceman here. I can just play Enchantress next turn. Plus, if I hit Jubilee, I don't want to play Iceman. So let's snap this turn because we're going to hit the Zabu. They retreat on the snap instantly. Okay. You know, I could play Doctor Doom middle, and he's like the hugest amount of power ever, which is kind of interesting to think about. Iceman and Korg. Let's do Iceman here and Korg. Well, I'll save Korg for if we draw. What's his face? I'll save Korg for if we draw. The other guy. If we draw Zabu. Draw Leech. Quite enough. I think we play Korg left now, and then hopefully it's enough. The Doctor Doom plan isn't looking that bad now, honestly. I kind of almost want to just stop playing cards for Doctor Doom. Moon Girl and Wong. That's pretty scary. I think this is gonna do it though. Do I reveal first? They reveal first? I mean, Doctor Doom's gonna. I'm gonna snap. It's kind of a risky snap, but I think it's worth it. If I go Leech, they can't copy their thing next turn. I can Doctor Doom middle, add 20 to middle, 10 to right, and 10 to left. I feel like it's pretty hard to beat. They just pass? How am I supposed to take that? What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. I mean, this is 20 in the middle, and then 10 in left and right, and their whole hand just got leeched, so they can't get any ETB triggers here. I don't know. I feel like that's enough. That feels like enough to me. Like, so I add 10 power to the left. Do Maximus? Okay, sure. So I'll lose middle, win left, and win right then. I guess I don't exactly win. Yeah, Leech. Yeah, I think the Leech. The Leech. That's so good. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's spicy. We can Hobgoblin them here. And we have Leech. I feel like we snap with Leech and that. Because we can Hobgoblin them or Leech turn 4. Which just feels really dirty. Black Widow. Okay. There's a turn 7 this game. It's complicated. To say the least. Korg. Oh gosh, man. They have a She-Hulk? So, I mean, this is a great turn to just pass because we get a free She-Hulk. I mean, keep in mind, we already snapped here. I don't know what to expect, though, now. They could draw an Infinaut, which is scary. I'm not sure what to expect. I think since they're just giving me trash in my deck, I kind of want to just leech them. I feel like I don't want to just, like, keep letting them give me crap. Let's leech away whatever they have there. Now they could draw an Infinaut, which is always scary. Doesn't really matter. Oh, is it based on didn't spend last turn? Is that what it says? That's what each last turn. Okay. The last card you play has an ongoing ability. This card you get a copy of it. So no ongoing abilities currently, but let's Hobgoblin the left. Get Hulk. That's probably my Hulk. Get a Sunspot again. So we can go She-Hulk. Doesn't want us that. We can go She-Hulk. And then just pass. And they're -8 here. If they have an Infinaut, I could lose. I don't snap right away. difference here, the power is 6. Jubilee. Okay. Nice. Oh, that wasn't the last turn. So, I mean, this is pretty filled up, where I feel like this is really safe. They have 1 card in their deck, though? Okay, they retreat. That was a sloppy game by me, for sure, but we still were able to win. So, should have played She-Hulk when it cost 2, but I think the fact that we got to leech them and then Hobgoblin their energy was really useful. Also, we didn't take into account that there was a turn 7 this game, but I think it was still pretty strong for us. The fact that there was a turn 7 and we had the extra energy just like threw off my turn count. Like I thought when we had 7 energy it was the last turn, but that was, you know, wrong. But it's fine. Another Leech gamer hand. Sunspot. Okay. I was gonna say, there has to be some reason why they played their Sunspot into the Destroy. I thought it was just like, maybe like they had a Storm or something, but that works too. I think we play this here, and don't worry too much. Thor, yeah. Jubilee is a good draw, because now we can play it into Murder World. Get something busted, potentially. So they got a copy of the highest cost card in my hand, which could be a few things. So we don't fully know what that is. Get an Enchantress. So we can Leech, or we can Hobgoblin. 5 cards in hand, they have a copy of the highest cost card in my hand. Do they feel like the kind of deck where they're gonna do something crazy? I kind of want to Leech. And, like, middle? Arrow's still fine, actually. -8 here. So that location is lost, and we can go Doctor Doom here, and then we like fight for 3 lanes, which feels pretty good. Feels kind of hard to lose too. I don't really want to snap, because I'm not like 100% sure, but also I don't want to chase them away. But I mean, so we're +3 here to 15, and then we win left and right potentially, and if they have their own Doctor Doom, they can't win left, but they could maybe win like middle and right. I think this is fine. Maybe we're supposed to play Doctor Doom right and add 5 Magneto. Okay. So now we win middle, tie lefts, and we win because we have more power in play. Anyway. It's a complicated one. So would Magnetoing left have been better? Or would Doctor Dooming right have been better? So if we Doctor Doom right, we had 7 here. So I think it might have been better to Doctor Doom here. But man, what a good game for Doctor Doom there. I don't have enough. Damn. Let's Sunspot here, just because I think this tile being the card where we put the Sunspot seems like it makes sense. Have a Daredevil. Big good turn for Lockjaw. It is the Lockjaw turn. You want to know what I want to do? This is the master plan right now. Wave. That's complicated, actually. So I think I want to Leech left, and then if I Leech left and they get a Leech, they can give me an Infinaut, which I'm down with. Like if they get baited to playing the Leech. But this is kind of sus potentially. But turn 5, we're going to see what they do. I think if they have a Galactus, they play Destroyer, which is fine. That's fine. And now we just blank their hand, which feels good. And now keep in mind, again, like same idea. If they now destroy our hand, we're not, like if they Leech our hand, we're not even that sad, which feels good. And we're going to play Korg here for the sake of going Jubilee Lockjaw. I think this is a good game to snap. And then we obviously have Hulk or Infinaut or something. Let's do this. I think we're going to have more power in Wakanda than the Destroyer. Maybe we're not even supposed to fight for it, but I think it's worthwhile. I mean, I like, Destroyer is obviously really powerful, but I think by doing it this way, we're going to be able to represent the Destroyer lane where they're going to have to play for it the last turn, which I think is beneficial to us. Iceman's not that great, but it's fine. Jubilee. Get Korg. Okay, so we're tied there now. They Hobgoblin us. And we can just play Hulk left. So they currently have to play for right because we're tied. If I play for left, I lose. I guess I could just float mana. I could just pass and soak with Sunspot. And they have to play for left, which isn't hard to beat. They have to beat 3. But then I could win middle if they don't play anything. And then they also have to pay for right because we're tied there. Is this stupid to stay in on? I just don't know what to expect from the Destroyer deck is the thing. Like, they could go Wolverine here. Then they still have to play for middle and right. Or maybe I go like this, and then I can tie middle. And then if we're tied right, I will win left. This might be too weak. I think I might be supposed to retreat, but I kind of want to play it out. They retreat. Okay. I was going to say, like, I feel like if we just soak, it's pretty hard for them to win there. And by playing Scorpion, they have to play 5 left. We tie middle, and we're tied right. So they now have to play for, like, all 3 lanes, and it's really hard for them to know where to play. But also, I mean, the fact that we leech them means, like, their, like, good cards are very likely neutered, right? We're a leech. It's like, I guess that was the only hit they could take, but that sucks. Domino, sure. So, Dr. Doom, great. Dr. Doom is great into the Vault and into the Sanctum Sanctorum. They let me draw too. So I can play Lockjaw here. Turn 6 cards can't be played here, and then I can go Jubilee, turn 4, Leech, and then Dr. Doom last turn? Or is it better to just go Jubilee, Leech, or something? I think this is fine. Well, no, this is actually tough, because now I can't do that. So I think it's actually Jubilee, and then I can Leech here, Dr. Doom the last turn. Alright, sure. Something big, hopefully. That is an acceptable card for sure. And so let's go Leech here. So last turn of the game, we can go Dr. Doom here. Do we even need to Leech? It doesn't hurt. It, like, never hurts, right? Oh, they hard commit there. Okay. That's fine. So I don't think they have any cards that cost 0 from their deck currently. They have a Wasp there. So if they have a Shang-Chi, I will lose left. Okay, they retreat. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Leech is on a trip, man. Leech is destroying right now. Leech is doing so good. Like, really, really well. The wave there was really good for them. The wave was so good. Okay.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Mm-hmm.
Clear for takeoff.
So, I can't play anything here this turn. Okay. Okay.
Victory.
I guess they're just terrified of the Zabu. I guess. I mean, Zabu is a pretty scary. Or, not Zabu. The Lockjaw. Lockjaw's pretty scary. Oh, you know, I should have played Korg here and just bounced him. Then I could have played him this turn, too. I could have just shuffled rocks in their deck. M'Baku. M'Baku's actually great with Lockjaw, right? I can go Lockjaw, shuffle in M'Baku, and then he'll come out to play the last turn of the game. When if possible, it jumps to a random location. Okay. Goose. Nobody can play cards that cost 4, 5, or 6 at this location. Okay. Well, that doesn't matter for me, really, right now. I think this is a snap game. All cards that must be played here on turn 5. I think we snap this, because we can go M'Baku, Iceman, Korg. I think we want to do M'Baku last. I think it's Iceman first, Korg, M'Baku, because we want M'Baku to stay in the deck. And then we can Hobgoblin here. Also, we can Jubilee here last turn of the game, which seems good. They retreat. Okay.
Victory.
Like, for us, like, the Goose was kind of doing us a favor there, where, like, the Goose actually allowed us to play 4-drops that they couldn't play, basically. Like, we could get 4-drops into play there, and 5 and 6-drops there into play, and they can't. You're, like, snapping off of that.
Victory.
Oh, it didn't even give me the satisfaction. Oh my god.
Hi, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Currently I'm making a Marvel Snap video every day, so if you enjoy Marvel Snap videos, if you enjoy my content, you know, consider dropping a like and maybe subscribing. It helps me and help support our cat Gunther. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.